students. Today we are taking another story of our syllabus. I am KRISHNA Pandey from KB number 3, SAGAR. So let's start with this picture on your screen. Dear students, you must have recognized this beautiful little animal. Yes, you are right. This is a mongoose. The mongooses are known for something. Can you recall? What is that? Yes, they are known for fight with snakes. The mongoose fights with snakes. This is his characteristic that we all know. So here we have a story that talks about a mongoose and a snake and some more people. The moral of this story is going to be haste makes waste. You understand what is haste makes waste? In Hindi we can say Vina vichare jo kare so pache pastaye. Means if we do something without thinking about it, it becomes a waste. It becomes a problem for us. So whatever we do, we should do it with proper thought about it. This is your class 6th English, A Pact with the Sun. This is chapter number 2, The Friendly Mongoose. So let's begin, dear students. Once a farmer and his wife lived in a village with their small son. They loved him very much. We must have a pet, the farmer said to his wife one day. When our son grows up, he will need a companion. This pet will be our son's companion. His wife liked the idea. One evening, the farmer brought with him a tiny mongoose. It's a baby mongoose, said his wife. But will soon be fully grown. He will be a friend to our son. In the beginning of this story, we come to know that a farmer lives with his wife in a village and they have a small son. They love their son very much and they think that their son should have a friend to play with. He should have a companion. As he is growing up, he will need somebody to play with him. So we should arrange for a friend or a companion for our son. They agreed on the idea. And the farmer came with a tiny mongoose, with a little mongoose. He brought from his fields or from the forest a little mongoose. It was a baby mongoose. And soon it was going to be fully grown. As we know that the mongoose are full grown in 6 to 8 months. So the wife says, now it is going to be the friend of her son. And they were happy about it. Both the baby and the mongoose grew. In 5 or 6 months, the mongoose had grown to its full size, a lovely animal with 2 shining black eyes and a bushy tail. The farmer's son was still a baby in the cradle, sleeping and crying alternately. So now we see that 6 months almost time passed and Both the babies were growing, but the human baby could not grow that much in 6 months. But the baby mongoose grown to its full size, and it looked very lovely. It had two shining black eyes and a tail full of fur. And the farmer's son was doing only two things. He was sleeping and crying alternately. Means, when he was awake, he was crying, and when he was fed, he was sleeping. And much of the time, he was in the cradle. One day, the farmer's wife wanted to go to the market. She fed the baby and rocked him to sleep in his little cradle. Picking up the basket, she said to her husband, "I am off to the bazaar. The baby is sleeping. Keep an eye on him. Frankly, I don't like to leave the child alone with the mongoose." One day what happens, the farmer's wife has some work related to market. She decides to go to market, and she makes the baby sleep in the cradle. She picks up her basket and asks her husband, "See, I am going to bazaar, to the market. The baby is sleeping. Please take care of her." And if honestly I say, I do not want to leave my son with this mongoose. Actually, she does not trust the mongoose. Now she has somewhere little fear about the mongoose. She thinks that the mongoose could harm the baby if he is left alone with it. So this is what she tells her husband. Here we have two new words, rocked, rock to sleep. That means to move or sway from one side to another. जैसे हम लोग देखते हैं झूला झुलाना, ऐसे क्रैडल मीन्स पालना होता है. तो पालना इस तरफ से उस तरफ ऐसे करके झुलाते हैं. That is called rocked. And frankly, I have told you honestly. Okay, let's move further. "You needn't be afraid," said the farmer. "The mongoose is a friendly animal. It's as sweet as a baby, and they are the best of friends, you know." The wife went away, and the farmer, having nothing to do in the house, decided to go out and take a look at his fields not far away. He ran into some friends on the way back and didn't return for quite some time. So what's next in the story? When the wife tells husband that she is not willing to leave her son with this mongoose, the farmer says, "You should not worry about it. You should not be afraid about it. You know, mongoose is such a friendly animal. It is such a lovely animal. Yeah, it is very sweet. It is as sweet as our own baby. So you should not worry. And you know they are friends. So this is not any matter of worry or fear. You go without any fear. I am here. Okay?" The wife went away, and the farmer, having nothing to do in the house, means the wife went to the market, and the farmer in the house had no work. So he was not feeling good. He was feeling little bored at home. So he thought that he should go to the fields. They were not far from his home. So he went there, and when he was coming back, on way back, he met some of his friends and they started gossiping. So he was not able to return home for some time. The farmer's wife finished her shopping and came back home with a basket full of groceries. She saw the mongoose sitting outside as if waiting for her. On seeing her, he ran to welcome her, as was customary. The farmer's wife took one look at the mongoose and screamed, "Blood!" She cried. The face and paws of the mongoose were smeared with blood. See what happens next in the story. The farmer's wife has completed her shopping and now she is coming back with her bags full of groceries. When she arrives home, the mongoose, as it was usual for him, it was usual for the mongoose to welcome the farmer's wife or the farmer whenever they return from anywhere. So the mongoose runs to the door, and farmer's wife looks at the mongoose and she cries, "Blood!" And she finds that the face and paws of the mongoose were smeared with blood. There was a lot of blood on the face and the paws of that mongoose. So this is the scene. She was very much afraid. The feeling she earlier had when she was going to market, she had told her husband that she does not like to leave her son with this mongoose. That fear came up and she mistook something. She could not understand what actually the story had taken place here, but she could not make the decision with thought. And what thoughts comes to her? Let's see. "You wicked animal! You have killed my baby!" She screamed hysterically. She was blind with rage and with all her strength brought down the heavy basket full of groceries on the blood-smeared mongoose and ran inside to the child's cradle. What happens? She says, "You dirty animal! You have killed my son." She was mad with anger. And she throws the basket that was very heavy with groceries on the mongoose that was smeared with blood, and ran inside, and she goes inside the house, and she wants to see what has happened to the child. So students, you can understand that what was the problem here, that she was feeling like the mongoose had killed her baby, and it was the blood of her baby that was smeared on his face, on his paws. That's why she threw the basket full of groceries on the mongoose and ran inside to find her son. Okay, let's see what's next. The baby was fast asleep, but on the floor lay a black snake, torn and bleeding. In a flash, she realized what had happened. She ran out looking for the mongoose. So, dear students, when she comes in the home, she comes to the room where her son was sleeping. She finds the baby was in deep sleep. It was snoring, and there was no problem with the baby. It was all fine. But on the floor, there was a black snake that was cut, that was split, chopped into pieces, and there was a lot of blood of the snake on the floor. The same moment, she understood everything. What had happened in this room means the farmer had gone somewhere after she had gone to market, and after that the mongoose was there in the room with the baby, and this snake had come there. So as it is customary, as it is usual for the mongoose to kill the snakes, so the mongoose would have killed this snake. She understood the whole story, and she also realized that it was a great work of the mongoose that he had saved her son from this black snake. It could bite her, and it could bite the baby, and the baby could die. She realized her mistake now, and she ran out looking for the mongoose. She went outside. Where is the mongoose? And she thinks that she can try to save the mongoose now, as she knew that she had thrown basket full of groceries on the mongoose, so there were little chances in her own heart, but she ran out. "Oh, you saved my child. You killed the snake. What have I done?" she cried, touching the mongoose, who lay dead and still, unaware of her sobbing. The farmer's wife, who had acted hastily and rashly, stared long at the dead mongoose. Then she heard the baby crying. Wiping her tears, she went to feed him. When she comes out, she sits beside the mongoose, the dead mongoose, who was already dead there, and she starts crying. She starts weeping for the baby mongoose. She touches the dead body of the mongoose and repents. She expresses her sorrow. She says, "You are great, dear mongoose. You have saved my child, and you killed the snake, but it was my mistake that I could not understand. It was my fault. And as I always had doubt about you, I had this fear in my heart that you could harm my son. And today, when you killed a snake and saved my son from that snake, I concluded that you have killed my son, and see what I have done to you." She repents and sobs there. But the mongoose was already dead. It was unaware of her crying, of her sobbing. The farmer's wife, who had acted hastily and rashly. So this is what, dear students, we have discussed in the beginning, a proverb, haste makes waste. This is here. The farmer's wife, who had acted hastily and rashly, stared long at the dead mongoose. She was looking at the dead mongoose. She was sitting there and expressing her sorrow. Then she heard the cry of the baby. She went inside, and life like that continues. So here we comes to the end of the story. This is all of the story, and the moral of the story, as we talked in the beginning too, बिना विचारे जो करे सो पाछे पछताए. It means haste makes waste. The farmer's wife had that fear. She always thought that the mongoose could harm her son, and one day when she finds the mongoose smeared with blood, she concludes, without making any time, she concludes very hastily that it is the blood of her son, and she takes her revenge, and she thinks that she must kill this wicked animal, this dirty animal who has killed her son. And when she goes inside, she finds that her son is all well and fast asleep, sleeping nicely without any disturbance, and she finds that there is a snake that is chopped into pieces by this brave mongoose and saved the life of her son. And she realizes soon that she has done something wrong. It was not expected from her. She should have thought for some time, and she should have given some time for this conclusion making. It could save the life of that tiny, beautiful, sweet mongoose. So friends, we understand it that whatever work we do, we should have a plan of it, a well thought plan about it. We should not do anything without planning. Otherwise, the results are not good, or sometimes they are so bad that we have to repent about them. So dear students, now it's time for the new words we have come across in this story. The first word we comes across is companion. Companion means one who lives with you, plays with you, a friend in simple words we can say. Okay, so companion is a friend. Next word is tiny. A tiny little mongoose. Tiny means a small. Word number 3, bushy tail. The mongoose had a bushy tail, like bush. Bush, you know, bush is means jhadiyan. Okay, these small growing plants. That is one thing. But when we talk about the tail of a mongoose, it is called bushy. It means it is full of fur, the long hair on the tail. It expresses long hair on the tail. It looks like a broom. You better understand it. Okay. Word number 4, here we have cradle. While talking in this story, I told you about it. Cradle is पालना. छोटे बच्चों के लिए झुलाते हैं, घर में सोते हैं बच्चे, तो वो जो एक बैड होती है जिसको हम रस्सी के सहारे लटका देते हैं, झुलाते हैं उसमें बच्चों को, हम सब ने भी उसमें झूला हुआ है. दैट इज कॉल्ड cradle. Next word is rocked. She rocked the baby to sleep. This was the sentence. Okay, so rocked means to move one side to another side. झूले का झूलना. इस तरीके से बच्चे सो जाते हैं. हम सब भी सोते थे, याद होगा आपको. आज भी बस में या कार में आप सफ़र करते होंगे, ट्रेन में, तो उसमें बार बार एक ही इमोशन रिपीट होता है तो हम सब लोग सो जाते हैं. दैट इज कॉल्ड रॉकिंग टू स्लीप. ओके. नंबर 6, frankly. Farmer's wife says to farmer, frankly, I don't want to leave my son with this animal. So here frankly means honestly, means she was not ready for it. Okay, so frankly saying means honestly saying something. A few more words that we come across in this story. Ran into. When the farmer was coming back from his fields, he ran into some friends. It means he met some friends. So runs into means meets somebody. Ran into means he met somebody. Okay. Okay. Next word is okay. Sorry, it is mistyped. It is customary. So customary means usual, means that is habitual. As was customary, the mongoose came to welcome her at the gate of the home. So that is means it was like her, like the habit of the animal. So here customary means habitual. The next word is smeared. The mongoose was smeared with blood. Means it was covered with blood. Blood smeared paws and face. You remember in this story? So that is smeared means covered. The mongoose was covered with blood. Next word is screamed. Screamed means cried, shouted at the top pitch of her. Okay, dear students, now let's look at the questions of this story. We shall discuss the question answers now. Why did the farmer bring a baby mongoose into the house? So, why? What was the purpose? What was the purpose? The farmer brought a baby mongoose into the house to give a companion to his baby. What was the purpose? To give a companion to his baby. Okay, so the farmer brought a baby mongoose into the house to give a companion to his baby. Okay. Question number 2. Why didn't the farmer's wife want to leave the baby alone with the mongoose? क्यों नहीं फार्मर वाइफ अपने बच्चे को मंगूस के साथ छोड़ना चाहती थी? So you remember the reason of it? Okay, let's see. She didn't want to leave the baby alone with the mongoose because after all it was an animal. It was not a human being, so she could not trust. Okay, or we can say that she did not want to leave the baby with the mongoose because she did not trust the animal. Okay. Next question. What was the farmer's comment on his wife's fears? What does the farmer say when the wife expresses the fear? जब वाइफ अपने fear बताती है कि उसको डर है, अकेला नहीं छोड़ना है उसको अपना बच्चा इस एनिमल के साथ, तो फार्मर उसको क्या बोलता है? His comment was that the mongoose was a lovely animal. You remember it? The mongoose was a lovely animal and it was as sweet as their own baby. Okay, students, so you find it, the comment of the farmer, His comment was that the mongoose was a lovely animal. It was as sweet as their own baby. Let's move next. Find the next questions. Next question is question number 4. Why did the farmer's wife strike the mongoose with her basket? फार्मर्स वाइफ ने मंगूस को अपनी बास्केट से हिट क्यों किया? उसने उसके ऊपर बास्केट क्यों फेंक दी थी? सबको याद होगा ना? गुड, लेट्स सी. फार्मर्स वाइफ स्ट्राइक द मंगूस with her basket because she thought that he had killed her baby. What was the reason? The wife of the farmer had concluded that the mongoose had killed her son. Okay? She thought that he had killed her baby, so she struck the mongoose with the basket. Question number 5. Did she repent her hasty action? How does she show her repentance? क्या उसको अपने जल्दबाजी के काम पर पछतावा हुआ? और उसने अपना पछतावा किस प्रकार से एक्सप्रेस किया? So students, we know she repented. Yes, she repented. She showed her repentance by crying and saying what she had done and staring continuously at the dead animal. She was sitting there looking at the mongoose. You remember? रो रही थी, बैठ के कह रही थी, तुमने मेरे बच्चे को बचाया, मैंने क्या कर दिया, मैंने तुम्हारी जान ले ली. So it was her repentance. Okay, students, thank you very much for being with me, for watching this video. Do learn the story by heart. It's a beautiful story. You will enjoy it. And at last, I say thank you. Thank you.